Cord, it sounds like extra water consumption the next few days would be a good idea.
Yes, yeah, that's the best thing that you can really do right now. You're making sure you're staying hydrated. You're avoiding being outside during the peak of the heat in the day, really between 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. You don't want to be outside over the next several days as the heat really ramps up. And I think that another impact here that's going to make you want to stay inside is the increasing impacts to air quality from wildfire smoke being diverted south now as the north winds kick in. So bright and hotter for today. Wildfire smoke spreading across our region and oppressive heat looking likely through early next week. So keep that in mind. This is a stretch of days where you really need to plan around those afternoons. If you have to get some things done outside earlier in the day, the better. Otherwise, you're not going to want to exert yourself out and about. Here's the view over Highway 99 in North Chico or in the Eden Road exit. You're not seeing any impact to travel here as we get ready to start off the day. And there's no real weather impacts to travel over the next several days, although it might be tough to see in some areas with that wildfire smoke becoming more widespread. Temperatures currently in the 60s to lower 70s in the valley. In foothills, we're in the 40s to 50s in our mountain zones. Wind out of the north to around 8 miles an hour in Chico. So we're seeing those north winds that are pushing that wildfire smoke from Shasta County and the northern mountains down into the valley. Gusts up to around 25 miles an hour possible midday. Still seeing sustained north winds for the afternoon, pushing that smoke down to the south. Those winds still breezy late tonight. Late tomorrow, we start to see a shift to south winds moving in, and this should help to clear a little bit of that smoke out of areas of the mid-valley, but it's really not going to be enough to wash all that smoke out. And then the smoke may clear a bit more Saturday afternoon as we see gusts out of the south up to around 15 miles an hour or so. Clear skies overhead as far as clouds go, but that is not the case for that haze and smoke, and that's going to be a big factor over the next few days. High pressure, dominant ridge of high pressure, very strong off the coast, building in, driving the hotter temperatures, the dry conditions, sunny skies, although again, it's going to be very hazy out there. Low pressure just centered to our east now is going to drive those north winds that's diverting that smoke south. I'm going to show you the smoke tracker in just a moment, but as far as the skies overhead go and cloud cover, we're not seeing anything on tap for today. Sunshine at 8 a.m., more the same at noon, more the same at 5 p.m. Tomorrow afternoon, we might see some patchy clouds in our higher elevations to the north and east of the valley, but otherwise it's just sunny skies. That is the caveat here, is that wildfire smoke is becoming more widespread. So we're seeing that overhead throughout the day today. It's going to be very hazy. When you look up, those aren't clouds, that's smoke. And you can see that does get worse later today into tonight, and that is going to impact air quality. And then it settles in the overnight hours, and then those south winds this weekend should help to divert some of that smoke out of the valley. But it's still going to be a bit tough to even see or breathe in some areas. Temperatures today ending up mostly in the 90s for the northern mountains. We'll top out in the 80s to mid 90s in the Sierra and Southern Cascades. Foothills in the upper 80s to upper 90s. 97 in Paradise, 95 from Magalia and Forest Ranch. 107 for Redding and Anderson today, 106 in Red Bluff, 104 for Chico, 103 in Orville, and 106 in Willow. So we are getting substantially hotter today than we did yesterday. Tomorrow even hotter than today, 105 in Chico. Staying above the century mark through early next week, finally dipping back down to around average on Wednesday. Redding also extremely hot over the weekend forecast. 110 Friday and Saturday, 109 Sunday and Monday. Finally dipping back down to around average Wednesday. Overnight lows, 60s to mid 70s in the valley. So Kelly, this is very oppressive heat, potential for widespread heat risk across our region over the next several days. Be prepared, make those plans to stay indoors in the afternoons if you can.